10 Chinese and Russian warships conducted joint sea patrols around Japan, a move that experts say was meant to send a clear signal to world leaders about the strengthening relationship of the two world powers. Joining us now for more on this is Virginia Congressman and Vice-Ranking Member of the House Armed Services Committee, Congressman Rob Wittman. So nice to see you again. Good morning.
Good morning, Rob. Great to be back with you.
Great to have you on. We're only talking about 10 ships here. That's the number that's being reported. But they sailed really close to mainland Japan, yes, in international waters, but that's concerning. This also marks the very first time that we've seen Russian and Chinese navies working closely together as allies. What do you think this means moving forward?
I think this sends a very foreboding message to the rest of the world that China and Russia, who used to be enemies, are now willing to work together. Two communist governments that are just contraproposed to anything else that we see acknowledging freedom and liberty across the world are now working together to do everything that they can to intimidate others and to push back against what they see as a building relationship with the United States and allies in the Asia Pacific, especially with the recent AUKUS agreement, that is the Australian, UK, U.S. agreement on nuclear submarine production. I think this is clearly a pushback on that. The United States, I think, has to do even more to build relationships in that region, not just with partners like Japan and South Korea, but also countries like India. We have to make sure we counter this building threat from now a combined China and Russia.
Do you think just build relationships and increase the size of our Navy as well, or is it more about building relationships?
No, we absolutely have to modernize and increase the size of our Navy. In fact, we see the Chinese on track to have an over 400-ship Navy by 2025. This year, the president's budget came over wanting to build 8 ships but retire 15. Rob, I'm not a mathematician, but you can't do addition by subtraction.
Right.
We have to grow our Navy, but we also have to develop these long-term strategic relationships that will have us operating jointly with countries like India. And of course, we do that currently with Japan and South Korea, but we need to do more of that.
Sir, we've got about a minute left. You represent the 1st Congressional District in Virginia, which the northern part of your district really encompasses part of suburban Washington, D.C. This governor's race, 1 week from today, it's going to be about education. It's also going to be about the economy. How do people there react to, and I know that you were campaigning, by the way, with Glenn Youngkin this weekend, but Joe Biden is headed to your state today. Do the people of Virginia really want to see the president?
I don't think so. You look at the president's numbers in Virginia, he is way underwater. I don't think that his presence is going to do anything to help Terry McAuliffe. In fact, I think his presence is going to help Glenn Youngkin, because what it will do is highlight the failures of the Biden administration. It'll highlight the differences between the Biden administration and the vision that Glenn Youngkin has for Virginia. Those will remind people that Terry McAuliffe says, I don't think parents should tell school systems what to teach.
Right.
It will remind them of what I believe is an overreach of government by the Biden administration.
Yeah, and people in Virginia not happy when Terry McAuliffe made those comments during that debate, were they?
They were not at all.
All right. Congressman, we appreciate your time. Good to see you. Hope to speak with you again soon, especially as that race now 1 week from today. Amazing. It's here already. Thanks so much, Congressman. Good to see you.
Thanks, Rob. Good to see you.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.